Will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, honorable city council members, to our mayor, our treasurer, our city clerk in her absence, our city attorney, chief of staff, to our state representative, administrative staff here in the audience, those viewing via our broadcast channel, and those viewing via YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. Today is Monday, February 24, 2025. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back of the chambers and hand it to me, the deputy clerk. At this time, we'll have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilman Kraut.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Excused.
So noted. Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
And Councilman Wadsworth.
Excused.
So noted. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum for tonight's meeting.
Thank you.
Tonight's meeting agenda is as follows. Number one, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report. Number 8 is public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 warrant, 12 communication, and number 13 is adjournment. A motion would be in order to accept tonight's meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular meeting, council meeting as presented.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Kraut, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m.
So moved for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held Monday, February 10th.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, February the 10th at 7:30. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special meeting study session held on Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 6:30 to discuss amendments to the animal ordinance, and the special meeting public hearing held on Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to hear comments or objections to vacating an alley located north of Charles Avenue between Middlebelt Road and Farnham Avenue.
So moved for approval of the minutes from the special meeting study session held on Monday, February 10th, 2025.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of our minutes from our special meeting held on Monday, February 10th, 6:30. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. There are no petitioners under tonight's meeting agenda. That brings us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. First of all, there was no special meeting tonight for council. And I want to wish a speedy recovery for Councilwoman Roscoe and Councilman Wadsworth, who had surgery. We want to wish them a speedy recovery. I also want to, at this time, I want to recognize Ms. Abdo.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I received a handful of calls from people in the community, and basically they wanted me to extend a thank you to the DPW for helping keep our roads clear. They were very pleased, and they wanted to say that. So thank you, DPW, for all you've done.
Great. I'll make sure to get the message. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, I also just want to acknowledge our state rep, Dalen. I always get his last name. Wagella?
Wagella.
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 I'm glad to have you here. If you want to say a few words, I appreciate it.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for letting me come and give a short update, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Mayor, council, and our new members of council who I've yet to have a sit down with, would love to. Couple things in Lansing, things have changed. There's been a change in who controls the House of Representatives in Michigan. From last session, a 56-54 Democratic majority to now a 58-52 Republican majority. So there's some new leadership, and with that has come already, I think actually there's a good reform that we've already done, which is with enhancement grants. We've made a change. So, as you've known, cities will work through reps to get enhancement grants for cities. A couple of the changes with that is now they can only go to public entities or nonprofits that have been in existence for 36 months. I think that should, and they have to be submitted before May 1st. So I'll be working with the mayor's office and members of the council to do that as we move forward and hopefully be able to secure some more funding for the city here. I'm on some new committees. Last session I was on education, labor, elections, ethics, and military and veterans. In minority, you usually get less committees, so I'm on 3 this time. I am on the General Oversight Committee looking into the functions of government. I was named the vice chair of a corporate subsidies subcommittee looking at corporate subsidies in the state of Michigan. And if you know me and been following my work, this is something I've been outspoken on. So I'm actually really excited to do some work in that committee. And I'm also on the weaponization of state government subcommittee. Tomorrow, I actually have one of my bills up for a vote in the House. I introduced legislation that would ban state lawmakers from signing non-disclosure agreements dealing with legislation that comes before the chamber. What we've seen over the last several of years is there are economic development projects that come to the state. I use the word corporate handouts. Some people will use economic developments just to be fair with language there. And in order to learn about those projects, state lawmakers have to sign non-disclosure agreements, barring them from coming to talk to them about, talk to the community about them at council or elsewhere. Also, you don't learn all the details if you don't sign them. So me and Representative Steve Cara, who is, one of the, he's a Republican in office, we've worked together to introduce these bills, and hopefully they will get voted out of the chamber tomorrow. They passed out of committee last week, 5-0. I'll try to be brief, but I got just a couple more things. We made one big change last week, going up into the deadline with the one fair wage laws. If you've been following this, this has been a long, storied tale. 6 years ago in 2018, I think 380,000 people in Michigan signed a petition to put on the ballot a law that would raise the minimum wage, would eliminate the sub-minimum wage, which is what we pay servers in this state, $3, $4 an hour, and give paid sick time for all employees in Michigan. This got adopted by the legislature instead of going to the ballot, and then changed months later, stripping away a lot of the things in the bill that was originally in it. That being said, this got challenged by the courts and was in the courts for years. And this summer, the Supreme Court ruled that when the Republican-led legislature did that, that was an illegal action, which led to the Supreme Court ruling that on February 21st, this law would go into effect as written. Now, what happened last week was the state legislature and the governor changed the law again with a little bit of compromise between both parties. I ultimately voted no on the bill because I thought people had waited 6 years and wanted to see these changes go into effect. So I won't go through all the changes here, but I will say, if you want to learn more about that and why I voted the way I did, which was a no on that to make sure that, because what the bill ultimately did was it lowered the minimum wage for tip workers, it gave less people paid sick time, and did a couple of other things. But those are the two big reasons I voted no, is I believe everybody deserves paid sick time, and I believe there should be no sub-minimum wage. That being said, if you want more details on that, I have coffee hours monthly at the Radcliffe Center in Garden City. It's recurring. We found more people attend when we have the same time and location. It's the second Monday of every month from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Radcliffe Center in Garden City. I also will be having a second coffee hour next month in the city of Inkster that you could attend to as well. And that's going to be at 12 p.m. On Saturday, the 29th, at the George C. Mitchell Community Center, which is at 2025 Middle Belt Road in Inkster. I'll be coming to Romulus in the next couple months here as well for a Romulus specific coffee hour. And lastly but not least, I'm somebody who strongly believes in following my conscience, and I would be remiss if I didn't start to sound the alarm on what is happening at our federal government. I understand I'm at the state level, but $36 million a year comes from federal funding. I'm growing increasingly concerned about the constitutionality of the federal administration's actions. And my call will not just be to go into detail here, but it will just be, please, people on both sides of the aisle, please start paying attention at what's happening. I fear our Constitution is in jeopardy if certain things don't begin to change. That being said, I thank you for the work you do. I'm so proud to represent this community, and I'm here to fight for you and fight for our community. And if there are any questions, I'll take them. A little longer than I wanted to go, but thank you so much for letting me speak here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley.
Just real quick, Rep. Regala, I thank you for your service and your work. I usually make your monthly meetings. I didn't make the last monthly meeting. You got changed to Wednesday, and this is a shameless plug. My pastor, Solomon Killard Jr., is running for mayor of Detroit. So he had a big announcement event that night, so I do apologize for missing that. I had to support him that evening. But I just want to thank you for all the work you do in keeping us informed. I know the meetings I attend monthly are very informative, keeping us abreast of what's going on in legislation, and I do appreciate that. So I just said all this to say, I'll see you next month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, State Rep. At this time, the chair going to recognize the Creative Mind Girls mentoring Miss Ebony Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here tonight. Our heartfelt thanks to Principal Calloway from Wick Elementary. She's back there. Romulus City Council, Mayor, thank you for having us tonight. Again, my name is Ebony Daniels. I am the founding director of Creative Minds Girls Mentoring Program based at Wick Elementary. This evening, we have the privilege of presenting 5 outstanding ladies from Creative Minds. They will deliver a powerful reading from the poem Still I Rise by the late Dr. Maya Angelou. It is my pleasure to introduce these remarkable young ladies. Also, they serve as members of our WIC Student Council. Azaria Redline, President. Lexi Benoit, Vice President. Brentley Brown, Secretary. Brooklyn Nelson, Historian. And Skylar Bradley. She is our Creative Minds Scholarship Award.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with glue? 'Cause I walk like I got oil wells, pumping in my living room.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Don't you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes. Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries.
Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard.
'cause I laugh like I got gold mines, digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my beauty upset you? Does it come as a surprise? That I dance like I found diamonds in my heart, and you'll see in my stride. I have the huts in history's shame. I'll rise from a past rooted in pain. I'll rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I'll rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I'll rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and hope of the slave. I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise.
All right.
This poem was a message about self-respect, confidence, strength, love, humility.
All right.
I'm doing great, and you? Yes. Good to see you. I haven't seen her in years. I haven't seen her in years. I used to coach her son in Romulus. Shoot, I didn't.
Okay. Is that all? Okay, at this time, the chair would like to recognize Mark Lukowicz.
First off, thank you, Mr. Barton, for fitting me into the agenda tonight. I see a lot of things going on tonight, so I will get this done as quickly as I can. So good evening, Mayor McCray, Clerk Ellen Bragg, watching from home, Treasurer Stacy Page, Mayor Pro Tem John Barton, and all the council members. Those of you that are here in the audience tonight, our safety personnel, and those of you watching at home. Tonight I'm here in the capacity of helping Chubby Checker get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is located in Cleveland, Ohio. Anyone that I've mentioned this to assume that he is already recognized in that Hall of Fame. That's not the case, and Romulus needs to do our part to get him there. So let me tell you about Chubby's Romulus connection. On Wednesday, February 22nd, 2025, it was announced that Chubby Checker was nominated to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame located in Cleveland, Ohio. This is long overdue, and Chubby is now 83 years old, and he was born on October 3rd, 1941. Here is Chubby and the Romulus connection.
The Romulus Hotel, that was known as the Sheraton on Wickham Road, hosted a concert in the ballroom in the summer of 1975. There were 2 acts that played that night, Chubby Checker and Herman Hermans. Most of the elected officials for the city of Romulus that were in office at that time were at that concert. You can see the composite here from that time on the wall here. There was also a good amount of Romulus residents that were there that night. On November 3rd, 1978, Chubby performed at what was the Hilton Hotel at the corner of Wick and Wickham. All the Romulus Rotary members happened to be there at that show. On August 3rd, 1979, Chubby did a concert in the city of River Rouge. After that concert, he stayed at that same Hilton in Romulus. In the early 2000s, Chubby launched a snack food business. His main product was beef jerky, and he had many specialty flavors. He also developed a Checker bar, which was a patented candy bar made with white and dark chocolate arranged in a checker pattern. They were sold through the Kmart chain of stores. He did a live appearance at a Kmart in the Fraser, Michigan area to promote his snack food. During that time, he ordered a custom RV from Kingsley Coach in California. It was built on a Volvo truck chassis, and it was designed for use touring with his band. In the very back of the coach were actual full-size freezers to hold his food products. He was going to the headquarters of the Meyer chain in order to see if they would sell his products. So he was going to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and on his way there he made a stop in Romulus. The coach was so long it was difficult to have a place to park it. So he parked it in front of Nate Butler's building on Goddard and Wayne, went across the street to the front of, so he parked it in front of Nate Butler's building on Goddard and Wayne. He went across the street to the mobile gas station to buy a few things and went on his way to Grand Rapids, okay? So Chubby needs all the votes that he can get in order to make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So let's do this for Romulus. If I could get 10 people to vote for him every day, you can vote every day, believe it or not. We can't do that in Romulus, but you can do this here, okay? That would be like 300 votes in 1 month. So I ran through this with Stacy today. Last night was my son in Denver over the phone. Stacy, we tried to see how quick she could get on. She's pretty computer literate. She did pretty good, okay? So here's the voting guidelines. You would type in voterockhall.com. That'll take you immediately to the site. The fan ballot will open. A login will appear. You've got 4 button choices to do this on Google, Apple, email, or SMS. The first time you're going to have to enter your email, get a code sent to you. Then you choose an account page. They give you an option to stay logged in, which I never do. I always log out. You'll cursor over Chubby's picture and do a left click. Then you go to vote now, confirm the vote, cast my ballot, and then number 10 that you voted would pop up. Okay, they don't let you vote twice in one day, just one time, okay? So please vote only for Chubby to increase his chances. You can vote once a day after midnight until April 21st. Make it a routine, and if he gets in, he will be inducted in the fall of 2025 in Los Angeles. This is what the fan ballot would look like, but this would be like, come up with black. He had like 40,000 votes when I first got in here. He's up to 50,000 votes. And so he's number 6 on the list. Ahead of him is Joe Cocker with 64,408, but only vote for Chubby. There'll be some of these sheets back here that I'll leave, and I'll try and make some other little ballots. So with that, any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Stacy, for helping me out today.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Mr. Barton.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Mark.
ran by this, I did this at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, but this is a little more refined now with trying to get on there faster. If I could, I just want to mention 2 more things.
Okay.
Friday, March 28th, Denny Davison, Romulus Person of the Year. It's open to the public. Get with the Chamber office to make your reservations. And I appreciate all of our city employees, especially the DPW. They do very dangerous jobs, crawling in holes that could cave in. We've got our safety officials here. Last night, the furnace went out at the Kingsley house. It was about 40 degrees in the house, so I figured it would be okay until this morning. I stopped at the police department because I didn't want to wake anybody up. It was getting to be around 11 o'clock, and they sent an email to the DPW. And then this morning, Shayla Mikowski had already had the furnace running. So I appreciate that. So, and I think, weren't you and I working on the bad luck furnace years ago in that building? Yeah, it was like the furnace they put in when the building was moved there back in 2005, I think, was like a bad luck furnace. So, okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Romulus is a fun place to live, wonderful place to work. I appreciate everybody.
Thank you, Mark. At this time, the chair going to recognize Councilwoman Talley.
Well, I'm just going to piggyback off Mr. Lukowitz, and he brought up Dennis Davidson, Person of the Year. So I'd like to make it's my honor to make a motion for a resolution recognizing Dennis Davidson as Person of the Year for the City of Romulus.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, a resolution for Dennis Davis. Any discussion? Roll call
Yeah.
vote. Oh,
Yeah,
Mr. Kraut?
yeah, I was thinking it.
I already seconded.
Yes, you already seconded. Yes,
Yeah.
I already.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the motion to accept your report.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, who second?
Abdo.
Ms. Abdo, to accept approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Madam Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, audience here today, and also those tuning in at home. Before I get into action items on my report tonight, I'd like to introduce somebody I've been working with a charity for a long time, Michael Longnecker from the Great Lakes Burn Camp for Kids. I'd like to come up and address council a little bit, talk a little bit about the work you guys do.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mike Londecker. I'm the Executive Director for the Great Lakes Burn Camp. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, but we provide a camp for children who have been burned. So, you know, they've all obviously have scars. They get teased, they get made fun of, they're bullied, and we create a safe environment for them to come for a week in the summer and a 4-day weekend in the winter. And we accept kids that we advertise 6 to 17-year-olds, but we'll take 5-year-old kids also. If they've been in a burn unit, they can be gone. They don't have a problem being gone from home for a week. But they're able to find out that there's other people that through the same thing they've been through. A lot of kids will be in a school system, and they'll be the only child in that whole school that's got scars and burns. So they can come to camp and find out that we're there for them. We've been doing this for 30 summers, and we just finished 2 weekends ago during President's Weekend, our 27th year of winter burn camp. So, and a lot of my staff are former campers. So I think if we're doing something right, we're doing something right if the former campers are paying it forward for what we've done for them when they were kids. So we were lucky enough. When they come to camp, we'll provide them with clothes and shoes. They get well-balanced meals. We've got nursing. We have social workers, psychologists at camp. So we take really good special care of the kids. There's 1 counselor per 2 campers is our ratio. We staff very heavy and take good care of the kids. But we operate on private donations. So there's no big corporate or big government grants for us or anything. So we've been fortunate enough that we were here in Romulus in January, and for the Curling Royale Committee picked us as their charity. So
Yeah, and I first learned about the Great Lakes Burn Center for Kids way back when I was a firefighter in Romulus, and the great work that they do, and to watch these kids kind of unravel and tell their story once they're amongst kids with the same issues that they have, and it's really amazing to watch. And I was fortunate to pitch this to the Curling Royale Committee. So that being said, I'd like to bring the Curling Royale Committee up here for a check presentation. So with the money raised from the Curling Royale, we'll be able to send a few kids to camp at no cost to them, just to make sure. So another successful outing, and this year we were able to raise almost $3,000 for some of these kids to give them to camp, so want to come up and let them speak a little bit about what they do.
Yay. Nice.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
Can I ask you a couple of quick questions?
Yeah.
How many kids do y'all typically see in the summer, and what's the process? How do you get these kids?
We get the kids through we have a Facebook page, a web page, and the burn units will send us kids.
Okay.
The biggest problem with HIPAA laws, it's not as easy to get the kids as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because they would just hand their information over to us and we'd get a hold of them and then get them to camp.
Mm-hmm.
And we even do transportation to and from camp to
Oh, wow.
help make it easier for the kids. But before COVID, I was averaging 70 kids for summer and 60
Wow.
kids for winter. Like I said, it's totally free for them. If they need clothes, shoes, whatever, we've got it for them, bedding, swimsuits, towels.
Wow.
But since COVID, we've been building our numbers back up.
Okay.
We just had 40 kids registered for winter camp, so.
Yeah. Where's the camp?
We do our summer camp in Kalamazoo. We
Okay.
run a camp and totally run it with all our own volunteer staff. So I bring in my own lifeguards, my own kitchen staff, arts and crafts, archery, everything, counselors, nurses, social workers, psychologists. And then winter camp, we do at the United Auto Workers Conference and Education Center up in Onaway, Michigan. And 2 weekends ago, we had a very nice winter with 19 inches of snow in 24 hours, over 2 feet during the weekend, so.
Wow.
But we charter bus the kids up for winter camp.
Awesome.
And the fire departments participate with us, the police up there participate with us, so it's really cool that everybody comes together and helps us out.
Sounds like you got a good support system for you to be able to do
Yes.
this for 30 seasons, summers or seasons.
Yeah.
And transportation, everything is covered. It's a free program. You get a lot of support. Thank you for what you do.
My pleasure. Thank you. And we have a former camper that she was actually at the Curling Royale.
Yeah.
She was a former camper, she's staff now, and she lives here in Romulus.
Wow.
One of my social workers lives here in Romulus also, so
Okay.
they're just
Nice.
unable to make it
Nice.
tonight.
Thank you.
But thank you for everything.
You know, one of the neat things they do there too is if you have two children and they both have the same issue, one from Northville, one from Hamtramck or Detroit, they might not have the same things when they show up at camp. You might show up with a designer bag or brown bag, depending, and they level the playing field. They make sure all the kids have the same stuff all the way on. And it's really, it really melts your heart to watch how these guys do work. So
That's
great job to the work you guys
awesome.
are doing. Thank you to the Curling Royale Committee
Yeah.
for the work they did, putting this event together and raising the funds for it. So great work to everybody
Let's
involved.
go a long way. So thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you. Okay, one more item before I get into the action items. I'd like to direct your attention to the monitors for a quick announcement from the mayor's office of Vanessa.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. In honor of Black History Month, the Romulus Public Library has been featuring a family-friendly film that celebrates Black stories throughout the month of February, beginning at 5 p.m. The last movie will take place this Thursday, featuring The Color Purple. Registration for spring t-ball and baseball is open until March 14th. Students from pre-K through 8th grade can learn and practice the game of baseball starting the week of May 12th and concluding the week of July 1st. Contact the Recreation Department to register. St. Aloysius Church will hold their annual Fish Fry dinners every Friday beginning March 7th through April the 11th. The cost of the meal is $15 for adults, and curbside pickup is also available. The Romulus Chamber of Commerce will honor Dennis Davison as the 38th Romulus Person of the Year on Friday, March 28th at the Detroit Metro Airport Marriott, beginning at 6 p.m. Tickets are $60 each and can be purchased on the Chamber's website. Thanks everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, and visit our website for more information. You have yourself a lovely evening.
Thank you, and as always, great job, Vanessa. For the first action that I have for council tonight is a contract at Schoolcraft College. I concur with the recommendation of Ken Chapman, Fire Chief and Legal Counsel, and respectfully request City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached Master Educational Affiliation Agreement between Romulus Fire Department and Schoolcraft Community College, which will provide clinical training experience for Schoolcraft College EMS students.
To the chair.
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached master educational affiliation agreement between Romulus Fire Department and Schoolcraft Community College, which will provide clinical training experience for Schoolcraft College EMS students.
Support, and I have a question.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the clinical site agreement contract with Schoolcraft College. Before then I'll get to Ms. Abdo, I'd like the fire chief to explain the agreement and how this benefit Romulus Fire Department.
So Schoolcraft College runs two programs, an EMT basic and a paramedic program through the school. For each of those programs, they're required to serve so many hours of third ride experience, as well as hospital clinicals. This allows them to ride with the Romulus Fire Department. We're a relatively busy department. We run somewhere between 5,100 and 5,500 runs a year. So they get the experience, they get the opportunity to perform their chosen career fields, and they get their practice with us under our direct supervision.
Ms. Abdo?
Haven't we had this agreement with them before?
This is an annual agreement. We
I was
do
going to
every
say, I
year.
recognize that, and
There's
yes.
actually two other, well, one other now. Henry Ford no longer offers a paramedic.
No, this is a great agreement, and it was, I knew that we had, because I've had some of my students go through that, and
We're very proud of the work that these kids come in and do, and gives us a couple extra hands while we're out.
yes, it's a great program.
Right, it's a great program. That's why I wanted you to, for the viewing audience, to see how great the program that is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have is a professional services agreement with Bro Engineering. Most of our engineering still goes through OHM, but we want to have a second engineer on hand just in case. So I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director and Legal Counsel, and respectfully request council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached professional services agreement with Bro Engineering for 4 years as an alternate engineering firm on various projects throughout the year.
Through the chair.
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make the motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached professional service agreements with Rowe Engineering for 4 years as an alternate engineering firm on various projects throughout the year. And I have a quick question.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Mr. Jones, for the professional service agreement with Rowe Engineering. A discussion, Ms. Tally?
Roberto, this is agreement we already have in place, right? Because I do remember us doing this before, and I just want to make sure I just was clear that this is what we've had in place.
Good evening, council. Yes, we do
Yeah.
have an existing agreement that is expiring, I think, in
Yeah.
June or maybe sooner. Excuse me. So we're putting this in place to override that one.
Yeah.
And continue the continuity of
Of
using
the,
them.
yep, I just wanted to make, yeah, sure, I was thinking correctly. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
Thank you. It does make things run a little bit smoother when we make sure we have two engineering. The
Yeah.
amount of works out there, so it's definitely a great help to the DPW. The next item I have is for hot mix asphalt roads program project. I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council award ITB 24-25-08 for the 2025 hot mix asphalt road program project. The lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder, Ailes Asphalt Paving, in the amount of $1,230,334.50 with a 10% contingency in the amount of $123,033.45 to cover any unforeseen issues that may arise during construction. Bring the total amount to $1,353,367.95. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified funds for this acquisition have been budgeted for and available in local street fund.
Through the chair,
Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion that we concur with the administration and award ITB 24/25-08 for the 2025 HMI road program project to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, Al's Asphalt Paving.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut, for ITB 24/25-0808, 2025 HMA Road Program Project. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question, Roberto. I got a question. And it's just for understanding. So we're doing a, I'm sorry. This is asphalt paving. It's not like cold patching. It's better than cold patching, right? So when I'm thinking, and forgive my ignorance, when we're doing road work, this is what we use, or this is what we do when we're doing axe work as far as fixing the road.
Yeah, so not all the roads that were listed in this award are going to receive the same treatment.
Okay.
But two of the locations are going to receive what's called hot mixed asphalt.
Mhm.
So that is asphalt pavement, full depth,
Fixing it.
Right, pulverization,
Mhm.
reclaiming
Yeah.
the existing and putting down brand-new road pavement. Another subdivision is going to receive a little bit of more of a preventative maintenance treatment.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Any other discussion?
Yes. I have
Mr.
one
Jones?
question. In doing this, when you're doing the roads, it's more just like resurfacing. Now, do you have to do anything for the drainage?
Yeah, that'll be addressed. Most of these roads that we're dealing with, they're either gonna have catch basins already. In any place where there's deflection in the pavement, a bird bath or a dip.
Right.
That'll be removed. When we pull up all the pavement, they do a technique called proof rolling. So they'll take a large roller, roll it down the road. If there's deflection in the subgrade, that gets pulled out, and we bridge over it with some very strong stone.
Are you replacing any other storm drainage, or that's just?
We're not doing any storm sewer.
Okay.
Very, very, very little. Very little storm sewer.
Only in case of necessary repair?
If it's necessary, if there's a catch basin structure that's cracked, broken, sunken, fallen in, then we'll do the storm sewer work, but we're not replacing like storm drains or anything
Okay.
like that.
Roberto, when is the start date, approximately?
I would like to start probably beginning of May, but once we go through the award and we get the schedule from the contractor, he has only a select amount of days to complete the work. So I can't tell you that it's gonna start in May. It might start in June, and then he's got 45 days to complete it. So I really need to get that contractor scheduled.
Okay.
But it'll be this spring into summer.
Okay. Again, Roberto, I'd like to say, I know the council can also agree in administration. We appreciate the work you do and your communication with us. You're very thorough, and you do a great job, and we appreciate that, Roberto.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Thank you, Roberto. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. I would also like to thank the State Representative Wagella while he's sitting here, because this is part of the hard work that they did in Lansing to get us funds for roads. So I want you to take notice of how fast the dollars you give to Romulus, how fast we get to work for our residents. So thank you for your help. We would not be doing this road program if it wasn't for the hard work that you and Rep. Miller and Senator Camilleri did for us up there in Lansing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one I have is a piggyback on Omnia Partners contract. I concur with the recommendation of Steve Day, Technology Services Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council's authorization to piggyback on the Omnia Partners contract 01-152 for the purchase of SQL server software and licensing from Zones LLC for a total cost of $37,783.35. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified the funds for the purchase are currently available in Tech Services Fund.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration and consent to piggyback on the Omnia Partners Contract 01-152 for the purchase of SQL server software and licensing from Zones LLC for a total cost of $37,783.35.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for the piggyback on Omni Partners Contract Zones LLC for purchase of SQL service data software and licensing for DSA and A software service. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Crop?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The last item I have in my report is for a 4-year information communication from Roberto Scapitici on the gym emergency repairs for the heat exchanger replacement at PD. Were there any questions or anything on that? Self-explanatory. We had 2 units that had to be replaced in an emergency situation.
I have one. Y'all mentioned this earlier. That was a good thing we did in the past, that if you don't have to go through all these steps. If it's an emergency, just get right to it and fix it, and discuss it later. Good job.
Thank you. And that will conclude my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number 6 is the clerk's report. There are only 3 action items under the clerk's report. Action item 6A, it's a request to approve the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 24/24-14 in the amount of $150,000 to recognize additional revenues and expenditures related to reimbursable engineering fees. This amendment was introduced at the February 10th council meeting.
Through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to approve the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 24/25-14 in the amount of $150,000 to recognize additional revenues and expenditures related to reimbursable engineering fees that was brought to us at the last meeting.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Kraut, for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 24/25-14. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 6B, what is being presented to council are study session and public hearing requests related to the upcoming 2025-26 city budgets. So per the budget process outlined in Chapter 9, Section 9.2 and Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter, the Finance Department requests 2 study sessions and a public hearing to discuss the proposed 2025-26 city budget. 2 actions are requested from council. The first action from council is to approve a 1-hour and 15-minute study session for Monday, April 14th, 2025, and Monday, April 28th, 2025, beginning at 6 p.m. to discuss the proposed 2025-26 city budgets.
Through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion for the study session and public hearing request as outlined in our memo and as spoken by our deputy clerk.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for our approval, which was announced by our deputy clerk. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. The second action item is to schedule a public hearing on the proposed 2025-26 city budgets to be held in the Romulus City Hall Council Chambers for Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in accordance with Chapter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter.
Need a motion?
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion for the study session and public hearing request as outlined in our memo and as outlined by our deputy clerk.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Jones, to schedule a public hearing on proposed 25-26 city budgets to be held in Romulus City Hall Council Chambers, May 12th, 6:30 p.m. Charter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. The last action item, agenda item 6C, Jeff Kemp, Director of Building and Planning, has requested a 30-minute public hearing for Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of discussing demolition list 24-01. The date and time are available for this request.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion for the requested 30-minute public hearing for Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of discussing demolition list 24-01.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for public hearing request for Monday, March the 10th, 2025, at 6 p.m. for the demolition list 24-01. Any discussion? No discussion. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. That will conclude the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Thank you and good evening. I just have one announcement. I just would like to remind everyone that on Friday, February 28th, it is the last day to pay taxes here at City Hall regarding property taxes. March 1st, they will be sent to the county. Of course, if you have any questions, please contact our office at 734-942-7580. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Number 8 is public comment. This is the portion of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address the City Council. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair, we did receive a request to speak public comment card, and this is from Renee. I apologize if I butcher your last name, but I'm going to say Osair. If you would like, you to step up to the podium.
Thank you. Good job.
You guys heard that, right?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thanks for letting me speak. My name is Renee O'Sear. I'm the Director of Safety for a trucking company in Belleville. I have a passion for safety and everything trucking related. We use Pilot Truck Stop, and they give us a discount. They're nationwide. Our drivers have a safe place where they can park, they can sleep, they can fuel, they can get food, and we get a nice discount. We're the customer of Pilot, and our sales lady told us that they were looking at a location here in Romulus, 94 and Vining, and that she had asked me if I would send an email to you fine folks to tell you my opinion of why we think we should have that here. I said, I'll do one better, I will go. So I also talked to a few of my friends, and I have quite a few people that are interested to have the location here. So I'm just gonna read you what I wrote and why we all think that this would be a great place. You know, obviously, this is the city of opportunity, right? And it would be good business here. You guys have a lot of trucking companies around here. You have a lot of trucks that go through here, and it would just be a positive thing for truck drivers and people in the trucking industry. So without any further ado, I just wanted to let you know, we the employees, executive contractors, and drivers of Moonstar Express need a local fueling location which provides not only fuel, but food and safe parking. Truck drivers are the driving force of this country, and they don't have enough safe locations to park and decent food and shower. Romulus is an excellent location, and per your homepage, the home of opportunity. This would bring jobs as well as added income into the city. Romulus is the hub to the automotive industry. Trucks need this fuel island. I've gathered signatures of interested parties that support this, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention and give you the information. Incidentally, I'm also on the Michigan Trucking Board, the maintenance division, and I presented this at open business to them, and they all signed for it too. If you wanted us to get you more information, that would be great. I just wanted to speak in support of this, how great it would be for our industry and all the drivers. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that was the last of the public comment cards.
Is there any other comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If there's no other comments from the audience, Deputy Clerk, we'll close that out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 9 is unfinished business. Number 10 is new business. Number 11 is warrant for approval is warrant number 25-04.
Through the chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 25-4 in the following amounts. General Fund, $100,299.27. Major Street Fund, $3,815. Local Street Fund, $3,139.49. Public Safety Fund, $32,563.59. Cable, $393.11. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $264.59. Street Lighting Fund, $57,261.10. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $810.07. Oakwood SAD, $49.05. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $6,504.97. Downtown Development Authority, $1,564.24. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $3,683.40. 911 Service Fund, $9,661.33. Drug Law Enforcement Fund, $5,812.26. Library Fund, $9,887.84. Water and Sewer Fund, $44,127.75. Motor Vehicles, $6,102.65. Technology Services, $30,706.92. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $12,604.56. Revolving Fund, $48,156.25. Current Tax, $99,662.03. Impressed Payroll Fund, $66,928. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $43,744.54. Totaling all funds, $587,727.16.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 25-04 for $587,727.16. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Number 12 is communications.
Through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
We got several things going on, the great events going on in our city. I want to start with the rec department, Colleen Dumas, who had a great mother-son turnout at the bowling alley. Had this a week ago Saturday. A week ago Saturday. So I want to thank Colleen for all of her efforts, and what she's doing is bringing our recreation and building it up and making it better. Just thank her for all her work. It was a Western theme event, and it was a great event. So thank you, Colleen, for what you do, and the Rec Commission, who supports her in her initiatives. We had a great event at the high school with the dodgeball showdown. I'm surprised the mayor didn't say nothing about that, because he was out there playing dodgeball. And Ken was out there too. I don't see Ken. I think he's gone. But it was just so much fun. It was a lot of, it was just good to see our City of Romulus team out there playing, out there supporting and representing. Schools was out there. Kids was out there. It was a great, great event. So thank you, Mayor, for partnering with our superintendent just to make Romulus as a whole complete and working together. So thank you for that. It was a great first dodgeball showdown event. I think they're going to try to keep that going. And I think it's a great idea. So thank you for that, school and city. And then at Pentecost Baptist Church, we had an event, the National Association of Black Judges. The mayor was there as well. Great event. We had judges from all across this, I think it was the state of Michigan, I think. I think. It was a great event to have so many judges out at the church for this service. Reverend Willis and his staff and team put this together. They had a great program. They had Q&A with the judges where they can ask the judges anything they wanted. It was just a very encompassing, great event overall, and to have so many judges, African-American judges in one place, and be able to talk with them and network with them was just a great event. And thank you, Reverend Willis, for putting this on, and Judge Lisa Martin for being the president of this association and pulling this together. Thank you, Judge Lisa Martin, for what you did in pulling this together. And then my last thing, Mr. Barton, you were talking about Roberto and the good work he does, and it's so true. But I've been in budget meetings all last week and this week, and I've done this every year since I've been on council, so it'd be 7 years. This year be 8 years. That I take time out of my schedule at work. I work a full-time job, but it's necessary for me to come in and be a part of these budget meetings. And every year I've done it, 8 years, and I'm like, wow, it's 8 years that I've sat in these budget meetings. And let me tell you, since I've started these budget meetings then into where it is now, every year gets better and better. When I sit in these budget meetings and I get the information, it's a lot of dialogue, it's a lot of discussion. It may get off track a little bit, but the discussions are good. And at the end, all I can say is these department heads, they know their stuff. I am so comfortable with the fiscal responsibility of how our budget is ran. I am very comfortable when I'm up here voting on something, I'm comfortable with what I'm voting on as far as what the administration is doing in this budget. If I have any questions, I ask. But that budget process, I'm gonna tell you this, they got this budget under control. Every department head comes into these meetings. Every department head has to come in here and present their budget. And they go back and forth with dialogue. It's amazing. And every year, when I sit in these meetings, I learn something new. I learned something new today. I was there, it was one this morning. I learned something new today. Every day I'm in there, I learn something new. I am comfortable. I am so comfortable as how our city is being handled responsibly, fiscally. And I just want to say good job. That's all I can say is good job. I'm comfortable in how we are managing our city. Thank you, Mayor and your team, administration, and I want to thank, who is Victoria Trush? Who is she? Because that Gary Harris is doing his deal. I'm sorry, Victoria, but Gary has come in with a vengeance. And then, of course, I can't forget Maria. Maria is amazing. She was a great find. And not only does she know her craft, she's humble with it. She's humble with it. And so are all our directors, our departments, Steve, I'm telling you, we just got Roberto, dynamos on this team in Romulus. And I'm sorry I'm taking extra time because, like I said, every year it's always good. I always learn something more. But this year was something over the top for me, sitting in these meetings this year. And I just recommend it for everybody. Thank you for what you guys do. I am so comfortable how this city is being ran fiscally. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick response to that. We do have a fabulous team. Specifically, you mentioned Maria Ferris and Gary Harris, what they've done in that finance department. We have a great team. We have great directors who are very fiscally responsible, and they know that when they're going to come for and ask in this budget what they can do, it's still needs over wants. We're not in a want period yet. And you've seen them fight for it. If they want it and they know it's going to help their operation, they got to fight for it. And tomorrow we're going to do a walkthrough on fleet because if the fleet isn't exhausted, we're not getting rid of these. We're not replacing them. We have to be responsible with our tax dollars and stretch them out as far as we can go. So they do a fantastic job. We beat them up pretty hard in there, and they spend every penny like it's their own. So thank you, and I'll make sure that they hear the kind words.
Thank you.
Any other communication? I have one, Donna. This, I know Mr. Wadsworth, I know you're watching, and again, listen to the doctors and relax and get well. I know you're trying to do like the Lions, go on reserve injury list, but he called me today and he really missed being at the council meeting, but the doctor told him to just stay off that surgery and heal and then come back to work. And he told me before I say, he said, go Lions. I said, okay, Wadsworth, go Lions. Thank you.
Is there any more communication from council?
If there is none, number 13 is adjournment. The time is 8:36.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut for adjournment. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.